Coming in at number 10, we have the surgeon who became a piano genius after being struck by lightning. In 1994, Tony Sikoria was struck by lightning at a lakeside family pavilion. He said he then had an out-of-body experience, feeling as if he was being drawn up before being slammed back into his body. Over the next few months, he had a burning desire to listen to piano music, something that he'd not previously had an interest in. He then began feeling like he was having musical hallucinations, and he was totally overcome by his draw to create a piano piece. Eventually, he took lessons and created his now seminal work, Lightning Sonata. Now, this is a piece of music inspired by his ordeal that's garnered fans across the globe. It seems like the music always lived within him, only the lightning fired it up. Coming in at number 9, we have a guy who took it a step further, who now plays 8 instruments after nearly drowning. Derek Amato went to a party in 2006 when he drunkenly jumped in a pool and hit his head. Then in his mid-30s, Derek was rushed to hospital and he collapsed following the incident. Suffering a serious concussion, he lost 35% of his hearing as a result of the accident. Interestingly, prior to the accident, Derek describes himself as being a bit hard on his luck. He slept in his car for 3 months. After the accident though, Derek was suddenly filled with a passion for music and began to read and understand it. He even learned 8 different instruments. 8! He said the music was drawing him in. Derek now has a career in music and has produced 2 albums. Coming in at number 8, we have Unbreakable John. So rather than an accident giving someone superpowers, this guy's powers, so to speak, were discovered as a result of an accident a la Bruce Willis style. Echoing the movie Unbreakable, in 1994, a man who has simply been called John by doctors was involved in a serious car accident. Following an x-ray, it seemed that John had no internal bleeding or broken bones. He didn't have so much as a fracture. It turns out he actually has a mutation of the LRP5, which is kind of like the opposite of osteoporosis. A link to John was made by baffled medics who struggled to fit another patient with thick bones with a hip replacement. Doctors compared notes and they saw that he and John were related, so basically this is a breed of super-boned humans. Coming in at number 7, we have the real-life Magneto. A 12-year-old boy from Russia was nearly killed by a huge electric shock, but woke to find he'd gained superpowers. Okay, warning, I'm trying to pronounce a long Russian name, so stick with me. Nikolai Kryaglachenko was walking home from school when he leant against a faulty lamppost that knocked him off his feet. Something was going on with some dodgy wiring. He said he eventually came round and made his way home to tell his mother what happened. What happened next was totally unexpected. Nikolai realised that he'd become a human magnet. So it started off when he woke to find coins stuck to him, and he soon realised he could also attract spoons and other larger metallic objects. So I don't know about superpowers, but you need to see these lightning scars at number 6. This looks like something from a comic book. It's absolutely insane. Getting struck by lightning can give you some super serious but really cool looking scars. These are more than just Harry Potter lightning scars. So these are called Lichtenberg figures, and oh my god. These are fractal patterns generated by the branching electric that struck the body, leaving streams of scar tissue. I actually have a huge scar that sometimes bothers me, sometimes doesn't, but honestly, these are fascinating. If anyone's gonna develop superpowers, surely it'll be these lightning scarred survivors. Up next, we have a child who developed a superhuman memory after being hit with a baseball. This is all coming into number 5. In 1979, 10-year-old Orlando Serrell was smashed on the left side of his head by a baseball. Although he fell over and was hurt, he didn't seek any medical attention and he got back to playing the game. He didn't tell his parents, but afterwards he suffered an intense headache. After their headache had passed, however, he discovered he had the ability to remember things with scary accuracy. He could even perform calendar calculations on demand. So Orlando can remember exactly what he was doing, what day of the week it was, and what the weather was like on any given day following his accident. Coming in at number 4, we have the man whose seizures turned into sensational works of art. Franco Magni travelled to the United States from his home in Italy, filled with a desire to live in California and see the Golden Gate Bridge. On arriving to the States, Franco was struck with a serious illness that resulted in the then 32-year-old having a violent seizure. It was following this illness that Franco started having vivid dreams about his childhood home in Pontito. He felt a calling to paint the images in his dreams, and despite having no training as an artist, he picked up a paintbrush and discovered that he could create astonishing works from memory. Despite not setting foot in Italy for decades, he was able to create amazing works of art. So I'm not quite sure how to say this, but an accident on the toilet led this man to become an incredible artist at number 3. Tommy McHugh had a checkered past involving drugs, crime, and even jail time. The British man was 51 when he strangely leaned too hard on the toilet. Now this led to him bursting an artery in his frontal and temporal lobe. As a result, he had a stroke. Whilst this sounds awful, following the accident and subsequent medical struggle, he actually benefited from a continued stroke of artistic genius. The Liverpudlian started writing poems and created incredible artworks. He would spend up to 19 hours a day painting, when before he joked he only went to an art gallery to steal something. Before his death in 2012, he worked closely with Harvard Medical School and University College London. They both took interest in his personality change following his stroke. Coming in at number 2, a near-death beating turned this man into a maths genius. Jason Padgett was out with friends at a karaoke bar in 2002 when the furniture salesman from Washington was jumped by 2 thugs. The men beat him within an inch of his life, leaving him with concussion and post-traumatic stress disorder, although that wasn't the only thing he was left with. It seems the whole ordeal had somehow jolted his brain into a new understanding of mathematics and geometry. It seems the attack brought on savant syndrome, where a normal person develops prodigy-like genius following injury or disease. Jason also seemed to develop synesthesia. Finally, at number 1, this guy didn't sleep for 40 years after he was shot in the head. Sadly, Paul Kern is dead now, but he escaped death in 1915 when he was shot in the head during World War I. In the Hungarian army, Paul took a Russian bullet to the head that pierced his cranium. The survivor had the bullet removed from his frontal lobe, but once he regained consciousness, he didn't sleep again until his death in 1955, so that's over 40 years of no sleep. The veteran became the subject of intense studies, and medics were baffled by his lack of sleep and apparent lack of desire to even do so. Paul was encouraged to lay down for 2 hours every day, but during that time he was totally responsive. Coming in at number 10, we have the real-life Magneto. So there have been a few instances of some pretty magnetic people out there, but this Russian kid seemed to gain his magnetic powers after an electric shock that almost killed him. This is really actually like something out of a superhero movie. 16-year-old Nikolai Kryaglieko discovered his powers following an accident at 12 years old. Now he was electrocuted by a faulty street lamp, and ever since, metal objects have stuck to him. Now he's taken a lot of pictures of his talent, and I've got to say, it looks pretty freaky. Speaking of freaky, coming into number 9, we have Mr. Eat-It-All. So that's not the name that I've given him, this is literally what he goes by. It actually sounds a lot cooler in French, Monsieur Mange Tout. Mikel Lotito has the strange ability to eat anything. Over his time, he ate bikes, televisions, shopping carts, and even a plane. Yes, he ate an aeroplane. A Cessna 150 to be exact. Now it took him 2 years to eat the plane, but he managed it. He was even awarded a brass plaque from the Guinness Book of Records, and obviously he ate that too. There's a video of him eating part of a car on the Men and Motors YouTube channel. The host goes out and calls him a nutter, which, yeah. Coming in at number 8, we have Iceman. Wim Hof is known as the Iceman because of his superhuman ability to withstand supremely cold temperatures. The 58-year-old Dutch national uses Tibetan breathing methods to tackle shock. Hof has held the world record for the longest time fully covered in ice, and you can watch his attempt at the title on the Guinness World Record YouTube channel. It's really impressive actually, like I couldn't do it, I'm really bad, I'm a huge baby when it comes to the cold. He also works with breathing techniques to tackle mental health issues, which I think is great. Coming in at number 7, we have the real-life Mr. Stretch. British national Gary Turner holds the Guinness World Record for having the stretchiest skin in the world, and he's held on to that title for nearly 20 years now. Now would we call having really stretchy skin a superpower? I guess for the purpose of this video, sure. He can stretch his skin out 15.8 inches, and yeah, there are videos of it. Lots of videos, and they're like pretty intense to watch. Coming in at number 6, we have a flying man caught on camera. I mean, this footage is probably fake, but it does look great. Uploaded in December 2012, this video is titled Superhero Caught on Camera and has had 650,000 views. Now it's just 12 seconds long, but in it we see 2 guys arguing, then one guy literally takes off and 2 police cars come speeding. I get that this almost certainly isn't real, but it's done so well that I'm starting to question like everything I know. Can people fly? Maybe. Is there some kind of superpower for strong teeth? Strong tooth man, saber tooth man. Okay, I guess we're gonna go with strong teeth man at number 5. Malaysian national Velu Krishnan used his teeth to pull not one, but 2 commuter trains. Now he pulled them along a railway track at Kuala Lumpur railway station in 2003. Using his teeth alone, he pulled the weight of 260.8 tons, so this is 574,964 pounds. Wow. In the video of the successful record attempt, he can be seen practicing some breathing techniques first. The full video is actually really painful to watch. I'm just worried I'm gonna see his teeth come falling out his mouth. Anyone else have that dream? The superhuman power of flexibility up next. Check out Zlata at number 4. She is a real life bendy doll and she can contort like a superhuman being. Watching her actually really confuses me. In some of her pictures, she looks like a crazy frog human or like a double jointed cat. Zlata from Russia discovered her ability aged 4 and began training in contortion aged 6. Okay, this video has had around 10 million views and shows a superhero guardian angel at number 3. YouTube channel The Observer posted a video in 2012 that seemingly shows a figure coming to the rescue of a man on a bike who is about to be hit by a truck. Now apparently this all went down at a road crossing in China. The video has had 10 million views and is baffling a lot of people. Some are saying that it's proof of real life X-Men. Others though, well, they're saying it's the trailer for a video game, which would make a lot more sense than this being real. Although I have to say the thought of some kind of guardian angel is pretty comforting. Coming into number 2, we have a real life Superman who was caught on tape in 2011 in Hong Kong. So the video was originally supposed to be of a model doing some kind of promotional activity in the city, but this isn't the important part. The important part is what's happening behind her to the left. The camera picks up a guy with some kind of weird energy between his hands. Then after seeing he's been spotted, he runs away. Like, who is he and what is his blue hand magic about? Finally at number 1, this is super cool and like not faked in any way, so it deserves the number 1 spot. We have the real life Spider-Man. 55-year-old Frenchman Alain Robert is often dubbed the real life Spider-Man because of his insane free solo climbing skills. Alain has scaled seemingly impossible landmarks, including the Sydney Opera House, the Eiffel Tower, and the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. There are loads of videos of him climbing buildings using his weird superhuman techniques. That being said, he did actually once fall, breaking his arms and his pelvis. Now he was told that he would never climb again, and that was almost 40 years ago, and he's still at it, which just proves to me that he's unbreakable and superhuman.
Starting us off, in at number 10, we have the real life Hulk, minus the huge muscles and, you know, the obvious green skin. A security camera captured 2 people approaching a man who is physically abusing his girlfriend. At first the 2 strangers was yelling at him to stop, but once the guy confronted him, a full brawl happened. And I think one of these guys just went Super Saiyan, or is just freakishly strong. I'll let you guys be the judge. Watch this. Okay, did you guys see how much air and distance he actually got? I bet he's a beast of the gym, or he's Batman. The flash recorded on CCTV footage rushes into number 9. But don't blink, because you might miss him. This, my friend, is why you always look both ways before crossing the street. Because I don't know about you guys, but there isn't a super fast man lurking in my neighborhood. The comment for this video is blowing up with people triggered. Some people are arguing that this is totally fake and is super edited, while others swear that something like this has happened to them in real life. I don't know what side I'm on, but all I know is anything is possible, so why not? So are you team Barry Allen or are you team editing? Next up, number 8, we have some good old-fashioned telekinesis. Now that's pretty impressive, but I think he's going to have a rude awakening when he goes back to Hogwarts. He should know better than to perform magic in the Muggle world. Even if this whole thing was fake, I still really enjoyed watching it. I mean, my superpower would be putting food in my mouth and making it disappear. Okay, let's move on. Oh, what the heck just happened? I think I got some superpowers. I think I just teleported. All right, we're at number 7 right now. I'm pretty sure. I'm a little disoriented. But that was kind of cool. So in this next clip, you're about to see a biker saved by a teleporting person. Okay, let's take a look at that again because it was a little bit fast. Let's put it into slow motion. Is this real life right now? No, seriously, is this real? There are actually a lot of reports of people seeing others teleporting, and I'm really hoping this is real because I would never have to be stuck in traffic ever again. And now at number 6, we're talking about mind control. Now this is a very powerful ability to have. If I had mind control, we would be the most subscribed channel on YouTube for sure, and I would never have to pay for anything ever again. Maybe it's a good thing, you know, we don't have the ability to control people's minds. What would you guys do if you can control people's minds? But let's take a look at a girl who needs to attend the Xavier Institute for Higher Learning because she definitely needs to get her powers under control.
Ê, anh làmไรà hả? Anh làmไร?
If we're not careful, we might have another Carrie White situation on our hands. From teleportation to some superhuman strength in at number 5. I've always believed that we don't really have an idea how strong we are until we're in an extreme difficult situation. Take this next clip for example. 2 men rush over to a helicopter that has just crash landed into a river. Once they make it to the crash site, they notice that their friend was trapped underneath the helicopter underwater. They tried freeing the man, but ultimately the helicopter had to be moved. So the guy took a deep breath and attempted to lift this heavy machine off of his friend who was drowning.
Tiny then reached down, lifted up the rotors, and did kind of a sumo wrestler sound. Lifted the helicopter with his bare hands. Tiny said, "You got his foot?" And Henry said, "Yeah." I said,
This is honestly so incredible, and this guy is truly a hero. Let's just say that these guys are gonna be friends for the rest of their lives. Telekinesis brings us to number 4. I remember I wanted to be like Matilda when I was a kid. I mean, she has some freaking awesome power. I thought it was cool that she was able to control objects with her minds and get revenge on Miss Trunchbull. But this person is the real deal. She used her telekinesis to stop a moving shopping cart from hitting a kid. Roll the clip. Maybe this is Matilda. Is she all grown up? I don't know about you guys, but if I had telekinesis, I would use this to bring me a nice cold Coke from the fridge and maybe a piece of cake. Maybe, you know, grab the TV remote. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. Is that a waste of powers? Is that a waste of telekinesis? Racing into number 3, we have another man with super fast speed. Okay, whoa, did I just see that? A man walking to his car in a parking garage got a lot more than he bargained for. As he was opening his truck, he felt something zoomed by him, and when he turned around, all of the car alarms was going off in a row. I don't know where that guy had to go in such a hurry. Maybe his mother yelled, "Dinner is ready!" and then he started like... Are you guys ready to see this next superpower? Well, in at number 2, we have intangibility. What the heck is this? Well, I know it sounds like a mouthful, but basically people with this power can move through solid objects like Patrick Swayze did in the movie Ghost. Such a good movie. But unlike Patrick Swayze, this guy kind of takes a tumble. So in this next clip, you'll see a man fall out of a moving van even though the doors are closed. You guys must watch this. Okay, ouch. I mean, that's gotta really hurt. This guy needs to get his powers under control because falling through objects would be hella annoying. A man flying brings us to number 1. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a Superman imposter. This flying humanoid was spotted hovering over the Q-tub miner located in Delhi, India. Judging by the amount of people screaming, I feel like a lot of people who were there believe that this is real. And who knows, maybe some people can fly and save thousands of dollars on air tickets. Those things are just so expensive and the seats are just so tiny, so why not? Up, up, and away. But you know what? I'm gonna have to ring the BS alarm, like really ring it, because this whole thing, it just can't be real. It's gotta be BS. Is human flying possible? Or is Michael Jordan the only human who can actually fly?
In at number 10, we have NYX. So this lady about New York City even has her own Facebook page. I mean, I would love it if Spider-Man had like social media. You could like his statuses and tweet him when you're in danger, being like, @Spider-Man, help me, and he'd be like, anyway, I digress. NYX is Irene Thomas, a young lady who decided to start her work as a superhero at the tender age of 16. Now this was after she discovered other superheroes online. NYX patrols New York and northern Jersey areas dressed in a striped corset, fishnets, stripy socks over the top, stripy arm socks, and a red face mask. She actually sounds kind of a lot like I looked at 15 when I was going through my goth phase. God love an arm sock. NYX says that she helps the most vulnerable in society after discovering a huge homeless population in New Jersey. Speaking of her superhero alter ego, NYX said, "Like the night, I cannot be proven or disproven to certain degrees. And also, much like the night, when morning comes, there will be no trace of me." She also credits her mother as being her inspiration to do good. In at number 9, we have Thanatos. In Vancouver, a 63-year-old man dresses up as Thanatos, the Greek personification of death, and he moves around the city helping people in need. For example, he helps homeless people and drug addicts. In an HBO documentary about superheroes, Thanatos explains why he uses death as his persona. He said, "I was told by a police officer that some people on the street had nothing better to look forward to than death. I decided if that was the case, then maybe death better step in himself. I've sort of become a parody of death, because rather than taking life, I'm giving it." That's really sweet. So Thanatos mainly works with the homeless, feeding them and giving them support, which is really nice. He is also part of the popular real-life superhero project. In at number 8, we have The Statesman. So if you thought that Northern Americans got to have all the fun, you would be wrong. There is a lean, mean, crime-watching machine in the UK too by the name of The Statesman. Revealed to be a banker by day, Scott Cook, aka The Statesman, then takes to the streets of Birmingham in a Union Jack costume and a Zorro-style mask. Armed with a torch, mobile phone, first aid kit, and notepad. I mean, sounds like the stuff of superheroes. Where's his spidey web? But still, The Statesman is a former member of the Territorial Army and claims he has adopted his alter ego to make up for the unpopularity of his day job. What a reason. As The Statesman, he regularly breaks up fights, feeding homeless as well as stopping or apprehending robbers. He also said that he sometimes teams up with other superheroes to work together, and they go on vigilante nights out in London. Sounds fun. So how did he keep his identity secret for so long? He told his girlfriend he was playing poker 4 nights a week. Want to hear about some real life people with real superhero powers? Me too. Even though they don't don capes, that we know of anyway, they definitely have the credentials. In at number 7, we have Veronica Cedar. Veronica has superhuman vision, which I could really use right about now. What do you mean, Rebecca? Well, I'll tell you. In October 1972, the University of Stuttgart in Germany reported that their 21-year-old student Veronica Cedar possessed a visual acuity 20 times better than average. She could identify people at a distance of more than a mile, so that's 1.6 kilometers. Like, that is absolutely insane. She can literally see you coming a mile off. Normal humans can recognize details 6 meters away, and I think without my glasses right now I could probably just about make a meter. Veronica, give me your powers. In our number 6, we have Zhu Tingju. So Zhu Tingju is a Chinese master of Qigong, Jiu-Jitsu, and Tai Chi, and he has this strange ability of pyrokinesis. He can heat things up to near boiling point with his hands. There are some absolutely crazy videos of this 82-year-old demonstrating his otherworldly skills. For example, he takes wet mud in his hands, he uses his powers, and then dries it to a powder in seconds.
The sand that was wet moments ago seems to be leaving his hands dry.
Not only is he able to generate crazy heat through his hands, he's also said to be able to dissolve tumors, heal severe chronic injuries, as well as successfully treat incurable diseases. Zhu says his abilities are down to being able to focus his chi to chosen parts of his body. Western scientists and doctors are baffled. In at number 5, we have Purple Rain. Purple rain, purple rain. No, not like Prince, she spells it a little bit different, raining like a queen. Purple Rain was a member of the now disbanded Rain City superhero movement, along with her former husband Phoenix Jones. Purple Rain now works independently to fight domestic violence with her charity, the Purple Rain campaign. I like it because it rhymes. In her life, Purple Rain has been the victim of domestic abuse, sparking her later interest in fighting the crime as a superhero. Purple is very much her color, as she sports a purple wig and purple purple mask. Have you guys had enough of superhumans yet? Want to learn about some superhero animals too? Yes, me too. And at number 4, we have Penny the dog. Woof. Penny the dog is an absolute babe of a black Labrador who managed to directly save an actual life, which is actually a higher achievement than some of the other people on this list. Penny! The story goes that one day, Penny was out having a walk in St Affas in Wales, just being a dog, woofing around, having a lovely day. But then, her owner, Brenda Owen, spotted a figure floating in the water of a nearby river. She then put 2 and 2 together and saw a wheelchair on the bank and quickly told Penny to fetch. Penny was super fast to react and understood exactly what to do. She leapt into the water to help the drowning figure. With super dog strength, she managed to then use just her teeth to pull the figure from the water. Brenda and a passerby stopped and looked after her and even called an ambulance. The woman turned out to be an elderly citizen from a nearby home, and Penny's quick reaction meant that she saved her life. Yay, super dog Penny! Let's get her a cape immediately. From dogs to children, anyone can be a superhero if they have the right heart. In at number 3, we have Soundwave and Jetstorm. A dynamic duo indeed, Soundwave and Jetstorm are among my favourite real-life superheroes because they're just so cute. These caped crusaders are some of the youngest superheroes around, giving the fictional hit girl a run for her money. Soundwave and Jetstorm are siblings, and they were just young children when they began their work as superheroes in 2007. They saw all the adults having fun, and they thought that they could do just as good as their older counterparts, which of course they could. Joining the Skiffy Town League of Superheroes, Soundwave and Jetstorm help keep their home of Washington a safe and positive place. They can also regularly be found at charitable events, and when they first began, Soundwave was 10 and her younger brother was 6. Soundwave said, "I was really shy, so I made my character fit me." She says it gave her an excuse not to talk too much, but to still do something good. She also carries marbles with her to give out to citizens who need some positivity, which is really sweet. Meanwhile, Jetstorm said, "I like working with kids, giving people food, toys, and making sure they have power in their houses. And I like running so fast, even a race car can't beat me." Excellent. In at number 2, we have Phoenix Jones. So for me, one of the best real-life superheroes has to be Phoenix Jones, the leader of the Rain City superhero movement. Phoenix Jones's real name is Benjamin Fodor, but he uses a way sexier pseudonym. Phoenix set up the superhero movement as he felt that criminal activity in Seattle was bad and he wanted to take matters into his own hands. Phoenix, along with his fellow superheroes, donned a costume so that police would know that he isn't a criminal. I'm not sure if that's totally foolproof because, like, if I dressed up as, let's say, Batwoman, I could still be evil. I don't know. But it worked for Phoenix, so. Phoenix is a martial artist, having fought in World Series fighting tournaments. This also means that he's pretty ripped and prepared to confront criminals, which he does regularly. Having stopped many serious affrays in his time, Phoenix has even been stabbed whilst patrolling, but that has never stopped him fighting for justice and the greater good. Okay, so we have reached that all-important moment in our most amazing top 10 real-life superheroes, and for the number 1 spot, I really wanted to highlight a guy who sacrificed his life in order to save hundreds, and his method of protection was a simple single hug. And at number 1, we have Naji Shaker al-Baldwai. Naji saved the potential lives of hundreds of people when he spotted a suicide bomber at the Sayyid Muhammad Shrine in Iraq. ISIS had wanted to blow up the shrine and cause widespread devastation, aiming to kill around 300 people. Naji saw what was about to go down and run up to hug one of the bombers in a suicide vest, absorbing a large proportion of the impact that would have been a whole lot worse had he not stepped in. 37 people were killed rather than 300, meaning that he literally saved hundreds of lives.